What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Grab My Banner Boxing Podcast. And we've got a special guest with us here today. Last boxing tournament, not all the boys could make it. We had to move it around, and they couldn't make it on the day that we recorded it. So they were like, you know what? Let's get a guy in there who knows and saw what happened. And we brought someone who saw literally every single fight, every part of the fight. He was there through all of it. We've got the #1 Twitch moderator, Carter Schmazy, here, ready to talk some Grab My Banner boxing. What's up, Schmazy?
Yo, what's good? I feel good. This is a great episode, mainly because there's finally a good boxer on here that can actually give like some input.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great.
Well, you've never stepped in the ring, so
I
I don't
well,
know.
my record on file is 1-0.
Okay, I guess I can understand that.
Yeah,
but
there's one clip. There's one clip of me beating Kyle, so technically I'm 1-0.
okay, yeah. You know what? I'll allow that. I think I like that. I think that's
Thank
good.
you, undefeated.
Well, before we get into anything boxing, though, because we got a lot to talk about with the top 10 list, lots of big fights here coming up on Grab My Banner Boxing Championship #7. Let's get into the duos tournament because there was a duos tournament last weekend, and we have the results here today. We'll start from the bottom, go up to the top.
Ooh.
#6 was Wattane. I wonder what characters they played on that one. They had 89 points. They were our 6th place team. Congratulations to them. Listen, if you get last, okay, it's not a big deal. We're just trying to have some fun. You're trying to get some bones. You're trying to have a great time. You got last place, just keep working. You just got to keep working your way up to
Keep
the
working
top.
on that.
Now, what isn't good is if you host a Apex Legends podcast and you're near the bottom of the list. So let's move a little bit forward.
I wonder
here.
who is that you?
You know what? It's actually not us. It's
Okay.
it's it's the other two. The other two. It's not me and Troy. Yeah.
I forget they're forgettable people.
Yeah.
Like Ryan and like
Kylie. Yeah.
Kylie. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Great
those
bod.
two, they're in 5th place here at 103 points. And back-to-back duos tournaments, they said they were going to beat me and Troy. They said Troy wasn't good enough at the game. They said my SBMM's too high. And 2 duos tournaments in a row, we come in and we just stomp their shit in. And I'm sorry, at this point, it's kind of embarrassing.
I would like to add some positive like vibes here. They did finally break triple digits, which is the first time for them.
Yeah. I mean,
that's pretty good.
It is good. We got to give them credit where credit's due.
But at the end of the day, they still lost.
They still lost pretty bad. Then we move on to 4th place, where me and Troy, there we are, the executives, 110
top
points now.
4.
Listen, me and Troy had a terrible, terrible start to our tournament, but we were able to turn it around in the final 3 games. We said, listen, we got to win with these final 3 games. We got great games in our final 3 games. It was incredible. It was like a comeback to behold. It was amazing. We move on to #3, the Golden Drivers, with 139 points. Congratulations to them. That's a huge jump.
That way, 139?
Yeah, from 110 to 139.
They popped off.
There was really a big difference in the top.
Was that Midas and who is
It's got to be Midas and his teammate. I don't know who his teammate was.
I forget who it was. I saw it and I just knew that would be a good team.
Then we move on to #2, Aquafine, with 146, and our #1 team. Man, it's got to feel good, Carter, to win 2 tournaments.
It feels great. It feels great.
Hey, and this one is the first one without an asterisk on it, so you got to feel even better.
It's you see, Kyle gets mad at you because SBMM is too high, and then for me, SBMM is too low. So it's like I can't do it.
I get it. You know, you want him to make up his mind. But I mean, back-to-back championships, first one without an asterisk. How are you feeling?
I mean, we came out there, we wanted to win just to prove our point of
SBMM didn't matter.
Look, it doesn't matter. I can be on a new account and I'll play the same and the lobbies will be the same.
Exactly.
But we did skip over 2nd place. I watched their games and they were nutty, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you guys really only
They're
pulled it out
good.
by just a few points. I believe it was like 7 points that you guys pulled it out by. So it was a close tournament this week, and there was a lot of people who signed up and just didn't submit. So I mean, that happens each week too. But I mean, a great tournament so far. But back to back for you guys, you and Queen. I think what is that his name?
King. I
Oh,
like to
King.
respect my teammate. We're
Okay,
no, it's back to back. I
back to
mean, we're
back.
at the tippity top of the mountain, but we're only halfway up, so no
That's a
biggie.
great way to look at it. I'm a
Yeah,
glass half full guy kind of myself, so
I'm a
great
glass
way.
is always full kind of guy,
That's even better.
especially when you're winning.
Yeah, which you have been. And
It's all we do is win over here.
you're transferring your energy from the duos tournament into the boxing ring for the first time. Now I wanted to talk to you about something. You said at the beginning of the show that, you're one of the best boxers to talk to because you're better than Brian, better than Kyle, better than me, but you
True.
haven't even stepped in the ring yet. And you're kind of tossing your hat in the ring and grab my banner boxing championship number 7. You're going to step in the ring for the first time. What's going on
It's,
here?
I mean, I last fight night in the chat, Midas was like, "Yo, Schmazy, you down to fight?" And usually my answer would be no, just because it's not my thing. I don't want to. I don't want to like kind of destroy someone's like
Yeah,
positive
I
vibes or
see what you're saying. He
confidence.
he has he has a nice train of positivity going. He's worked his way up from the bottom to the top, and you would hate to just shit on him as he's trying to get to the top.
Es- Especially since he's now almost at the top. Like he has the throne in his sights and he's trying to get there. But I think it was I've been on some meds from some health reasons, and I think the meds kind of got to me.
Hmm.
And I said, "Yeah, I'll fight him next boxing tournament." And I'll be honest with you, I haven't practiced at all.
That doesn't sound good. That
I
sounds
I
really
I,
bad.
I told myself I'm gonna watch some film on Midas, trying to figure him out, try and beat him at his own game. I don't even I don't even know how to go about that right now.
It's not going to be easy. I mean, Midas is one of the best. And speaking of the best, we should probably go through this top 10 list here and
Oh, it
see what is going on because it's been a little bit. It's been about 2 weeks. Got to refresh, got to figure, got to let everybody know who's up
and
there at the top.
there's been a lot of changes. Last boxing tournament, there was a lot of changes to this top 10 list.
I think Carter last boxing tournament by far there was the most changes than that we've ever had. We had Benny Boy losing that coveted number 2 spot. We had Midas moving on up. We have a lot of names, so let's get to that. We're going to
Very
start
rocky.
down below with Shadow Storm, our very own Miss Allie. She's finally sitting in the number 10 spot, the first woman, I should say, to ever get into the top 10 list. Congratulations to Allie, but she has stepped down. And so Brian and Travi Patty will be fighting for that number 10 spot. But we just got to congratulate Allie where congratulations are due. She made it into the top 10 list. She beat Travi Patty to get that 10 spot. Huge shout out to Allie. We
Great.
move
It
on.
was a great fight.
Yeah, it was a great fight. Really, that was probably one of the top ones of the entire event. Then we move on to number 9, which is Maddox. Number 8 was Tokir. 7 was Chicken Wing. And number 6, BBOGR. Now, BBOGR was in the top 5, lost an unfortunate fight to Nexus Radiant last week, so he had to drop down below. But he's sitting here and he's got his eye on the prize. He hasn't confirmed a fight this week. He hasn't called anybody out, but I would not be surprised if we saw BBOGR stepping into the open fight hour and then probably challenging either Nexus Radiant or Chicken Wing to another fight. That could be huge. As we move on into the top 5, we've got Nexus Radiant sitting at that 5th spot. Cookie, the original Revenant, working his way all the way up from the bottom of the barrel to the top 5. He's sitting at number 4. Benny Boy 69 at number 3. Midas at number 2. And number 1, the famous Coochie Lord. He's still sitting atop that
Legend.
mountain. He is a
That's a
legend
legend.
of the game.
He's
How do you
literally
feel?
had he put his face on the mountain
He
because he's
really
been
did.
up there for that long.
If there was a Grab My Banner boxing Mount Rushmore, he is the first face on the mountain. He's the first face. He is by
Yeah.
far one of the greatest. He's just a straight up brawler. He doesn't play around with that shit. He goes straight in there and he just starts swinging haymakers. That's all he's about.
I would like to just say I believe Cookie went up 2 spots last week. That was a huge jump. And plus that was to get into the top 5, top 4 right now. So Cookie on the rise. His stock, it's going up.
Never been higher. And that's a guy, when we get into the betting part of this, that's a guy that you want to put your bones on, because this guy, he's consistently won money. He's stolen money from me because I always seem to be betting against him and he always proves me wrong. This kid Cookie, he's in there like swimwear. He's trying to go for the crown. He created the original Revenant meta, and we saw him use Revenant so effectively that Benny Boy switched his Bloodhound pick mid-fight to try and combat him. Didn't work out for Benny Boy. This kid Cookie, he knows exactly what he's doing with Revenant in the ring. He is an animal. He is an animal. So let's take a look at this list here, Carter. Is there anyone who's a little lower on your list that you could see making a massive jump within the next with Grab My Banner Boxing Championship number 7?
Um let's see. I would like to think Nexus will get back in that
Mm-hmm.
in that top of the list. I also think Baby Ogre, my guy, he had a bad week. I think he will still have it in him, but also I'm gonna straight up butcher this name. Tokir.
Yeah,
Tokir.
yeah, Tokir.
He he I don't know if you remember this. He lost pretty much every single one of his fights in the open fight night hour, and then he won everything else
Yeah,
once it mattered.
it was literally insane. So Tokir started off his career winning his first 2 fights, like in dramatic fashion, like very good. Then I bet all my money on him. He loses 4 straight fights spanning over 2 events. And I was like, okay, this kid's down and out. Then the second we introduce betting, he comes back and wins 3 straight fights after betting 5,000 channel points, aka bones, on himself in a row. 5,000 each time. He wins each time. Is this a guy who just craves pressure? Like maybe this is
I
what he needed this whole time.
Yeah, I think pressure for him is where it puts him in his best mindset, focuses up, and then on top of that, he's betting on himself. That's the confidence because for him, I believe it's just confidence. And when he's betting on himself, that just yells, I am confident in myself to win this fight. And he did.
And
Af-
he really did. He looked good. He might be our best heavyweight fighter. We introduced a new heavyweight division. We have no heavyweight fights, I don't believe, for this week. We'll see what happens. But let's get into the matchups that we have for right now. And we're going to
Ooh.
start with the number 10 fight between Brian and Travi Patty. Who you got in this one?
Will Brian choke again? I think that's not even a question. Yes, it's just when
Mm-hmm.
and how many times.
And will it be too late for Travi Patty before Brian chokes? Because like
I
we
would,
saw,
yeah.
I Carter, that fight was one of the craziest fights. If you guys haven't checked it out and Grab My Banner Boxing Championship number 6, I highlighted it. You need to watch this fight. Brian versus Travi Patty for the 10 spot. Brian has all control heading into the final round and just completely whiffs on 2 straight punches, lets Travi Patty back into the fight. Travi comes away, wins the 10 spot. Now they're going at it again. The question is, how many times, really, Carter, what it comes down to for me, how many times is Brian going to run into the fence? And like, that's not even a joke. Like, that's a legitimate thing because he seems to run into the fence every time he fights.
I
And
think I'm sorry to cut you off. I
no,
think
no worries.
it's, have you ever seen like bugs on lights?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just attracted to it because last week he was not punched into the fence.
He just
He,
slid into it.
he just jumped into it.
Yeah, he
Like,
slid, punched Travi, and while after he hit the punch, he slid into the fence. And I was like, "Oh, it's over." Travi wasn't able to punish, and then Brian was able to come out and win the round. I don't know, man. And then you know what's even crazier is after he won that round, he stood in the fence as his celebration. It's like he's like in love with the fence.
yeah.
He
Honestly though, at the end of the day, if I could bet in the channel, which I can't because I'm the number one mod,
True.
um, I might put a lot of my bones on Brian this week.
I'm thinking Brian as well. Now, here's the thing: Brian's learned from his mistakes. As we've seen, he's gotten better at boxing. And Travi, at least when Brian's fighting for a 10 spot match, it's a lot easier for me to bet on him in that because I think he might have an advantage here. Last week, it was kind of a fluke. I think he comes in here. I think he can win and get into that 10 spot. Now, Brian has aspirations of making it in the top five. I say no fucking way that he can't even get close. But I think he can get into the top 10. I think he's going to win this fight. And if I was a betting man, I'd put some money on Brian in this fight.
Yep. Just Vegas out there, I would put money on Brian too.
We move on to Cookie versus Benny Boy for the number 3 spot. Now, Benny Boy had a tough week last week. We talked about it a little bit with him after the event. He just didn't feel like he was on his game. Now he's got to go up against one of the hardest, most annoying fighters to go against in Cookie with the Revenant. Benny Boy, can he bounce back? Can he win this fight? If you were betting on this one, Carter, which way are you going?
See, I have a lot of scouts actually in the boxing world of Apex, and there's been a lot of training towards how to play against Cookie. If they execute it well, I think Benny Boy has a chance. It's just Cookie he's pretty good.
He's very good. And
He's
he's
pretty
annoying.
good.
He's
Yeah.
annoying with that Revenant.
I think if Cookie makes a mistake though, I think Benny Boy can execute his plan going into this fight.
And that's the thing too, is like a lot of the fighters that Cookie's been going up against right now, they don't know how to punish when there is a mistake being made. And in fact, a lot of fighters can't even get him out of his whatever Revenant's mode is called, where he touches his totem. I don't
Like
know what
a
it's called.
yeah,
Like his
like a
death form,
sneaky
his shadow
death
self.
touch. I don't even know.
His shadow fucking
Never played Revenant, my bad.
same, neither. But if Benny Boy can get him out of his shadow form, Cookie likes to place his totem outside of the ring. He'll have to jump back into the ring, and Benny Boy can defend and edge guard like anybody. So I think it really comes down to if Benny Boy can get him out of the shadow self form and then go after him right there. I'm still expecting Benny Boy to play the Bloodhound. I think that's your best bet. So I would go with that. But Cookie does play an aggressive Revenant too. I think in his mind, he's like, nobody will get me out of this shadow self form. So I'm just going to run after him. And even if they do, I'll still have enough life to, have a comeback here, especially if he doesn't take any damage to his shield. So we'll see what happens on that one. If I was a betting man, I would lean Benny Boy on this one. I wouldn't put a whole lot on it because Cookie's a wild card, but I would bet a little bit towards Benny Boy. We move on to the number 1 fight, the main event. Coochie Lord versus Midas for the number 1 spot, the big
Oh,
cojones. Carter, if you're placing your bets somewhere, who are you going with and why?
this is a juicy fight. I've been saying this from day one. Midas is the goat. I'm not going back on my word right now. I'm picking Midas over Coochie Lord. I don't look Coochie Lord is insane. He's a legend on Mount Rushmore for boxing, but he's a little rusty. We didn't see him last week. We
Didn't
saw
see him last
Midas a
week.
lot last week, especially you,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's going to be
Yes.
Midas will be warming up against some pretty good boxers ahead of the main event,
Yes.
especially me. I'll get
Mm-hmm.
him nice and warmed for Coochie. Saying that wrong, but but maybe he has something up his sleeve going against Midas.
Now we've
I mean,
traditionally seen Midas. Who does Midas traditionally play?
I believe he's been switching up a little bit. I I want to say Bloodhound Horizon,
Okay. So
but I think I've seen something else.
this will be interesting. Now here's my thing. I've watched Midas fight a lot. He has a lot of confidence. He's a very good fighter. I do think that Coochie Lord, after Coochie Lord's probably the best fighter we have in this league with adjustments. And if he loses the first round, here's what I predict. If Coochie Lord loses the first round, he will come back and win. if he wins the first round, I think Midas will be able to take him to a round 5 and he'll be able to pull it off. Coochie likes to come back from behind. He needs to, it sounds so dumb, but he needs to lose the first round. He needs to lose it so he can adjust, and then he'll start putting it on like he did against Benny Boy. I'm putting all of my bones, all of them, if I could bet them. I would put all of them on the Coochie Lord here. That's no disrespect to Midas. It's just, you grow up watching a guy like Coochie Lord. It's hard to bet against him. It's like betting against Tom Brady. Like even in his old age, it's like everything's telling you Chiefs, Chiefs, Chiefs. But then you see Tom Brady on the other side of the field. You're like, I don't know. I don't know. Anything can happen with this guy. So I'm feeling that way with Coochie Lord. I'm putting all my bones on him. We move on to Schmazy versus Midas. Now, Schmaz, I know you can't bet, but give the people the reason why they should be betting on you to win this fight.
Um, Simple, honestly. Everyone has seen Midas fight. Everyone can learn how to play against Midas. Who's seen me fight?
I've seen you fight.
Kyle?
Yeah, and Kyle.
Exactly. Very little. All they've seen was me beating Kyle into the ground and shooting his body. That's all they know. Honestly, I don't know who I even use.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
Like, so Midas going in, he completely cold on me. No one knows. I could get completely dumpstered tomorrow, and I wouldn't be surprised. Or I could absolutely destroy Midas, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised either. If I was to bet, if I was to bet, I would probably lean Midas, probably like 70-30.
Okay.
But that's a big payout for that 30, if you know what I mean.
That's what I'm saying. Now, here's the thing. If you've ever wanted to go with an underdog story right here, if you've ever wanted to go with an underdog, especially if the betting opens up at Midas with people like 1,000,
Oh no,
fucking 5,000.
Maddox is going to hit a 10K. He's hit so many 10Ks.
Yeah.
There's going to be 5Ks up there for Midas, probably like 1K, but whew.
If the pot is close, right? If it's like 500 for you, 500 for Midas, I feel like I might go Midas. But if it's like, you know, 10,000 to 1 or something like that, like Midas has 10,000 on and you've got 500, I'm definitely putting money on you because the payout on it's kind of like the McGregor Poirier fight, right? A lot of people who don't really watch the UFC are like, "Oh, McGregor has this in the bag." If you watch the UFC, Poirier had a very good chance of winning that fight, and it was like his line was like minus or plus 350, so you bet $100, win 350. And a lot of people cashed out big on that fight. I think you are in a similar situation. You're no slouch when it comes to boxing. You haven't had the most training, but you're no slouch. And if the money is leaned heavily on Midas, I'm easily betting money on Schmazy. Big
Yeah,
time.
because there's two ways of doing this. You don't always pick who you think is going to win. You throw money at where the money is,
Yes, exactly.
because if we throw in 2K for Midas and he's at 99%, what are you going to get? 2001.
Yeah, you're
But
really
if you
not going
throw
to
that
make any money.
2000 at me, wow, hello, 10K.
Yeah, and then you can use all that money. You can blow all that money on me in the ring when I start winning you money again. Because last time I was a little embarrassing in there. I've trained, I've worked hard, I've gotten it back a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit better. Let's move on to Brian versus Midas. And now here's a
Ooh,
situation where you don't even bet on the underdog at all because Brian has literally no chance. Brian
it's
has
not even
zero chance.
it's not even an underdog at this point. It's literally Midas.
Like we said before, Brian against a top like a 10, a fringe 10 fighter, I'll put money on him. Brian against Midas, I would I wouldn't touch that with the 10-foot pole. Is like there's no point because you're gonna win when you bet your money on Midas. He's gonna win the fight. Let's just get that out in the open. He's gonna win. And if you were to bet on Midas, I think everybody's gonna bet on Midas. It's just gonna be the easiest bet of your life. That's it. It's just the easiest bet of your life. The only way I'm betting on Brian, one bone against like 20,000. So that way, like I already know I'm going to lose, but at least I just lose one bone. There's
Yeah,
no
and
way.
Brian will see that you like bet on him, so he's like, oh my god, like Wyatt has my back. But I honestly might make like a bet, like will Brian get like 2 punches in on Midas, and maybe that's when I would actually bet on him.
Oh, maybe
But
that's how we should do this.
anything else, like no,
We should do
like
we should do a prop bet when we do this. We should do will Brian get 3 punches? We'll do 3 punches. We'll change it because we already know Midas is going to win the fight. Like
yeah,
it's no
like
way
at this point, it's not who wins, it's how bad is Brian,
going to
pretty
lose.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that'll just about round it out for the top of the fights. And that should just about wrap it up for the show. We've got a
I
great
got.
grab my banner. But what do you got?
Sorry, I got one more thing. Our past bets.
Okay.
We gotta say one
Are
thing
we going to
about
talk
it.
about Big Man Rain real quick? Is that what we're doing?
Our guy Rain
Oh no.
has
Listen.
lost about 30 straight bets.
Yeah.
So if he bets for you tomorrow, please try your best.
Try because this
This
poor
guy
guy.
has put everything in about 8 times, and he's lost 8 of those 8 times. He's only won when he's bet on Cookie. So please, if you see in chat, oh, Rain vote or bet on me, just please,
Oh
so
no.
I don't have to
This
go to
man.
therapy session with Rain for 5 hours
This man
about
is
how
the
much money he's
equivalent.
lost.
This man has gone the equivalent from like a mansion to a cardboard box, just betting himself from his lavish furnishings to just living on a cardboard box next to a bridge. Like this guy has lost it all. Then he went all the way back up. Then he lost it all again. It's almost like a death's kiss if he bets on you because you're like, ah, shit, like this isn't going to go well for me now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has that effect. Yeah, like you try to win if he bet on you, but just know that it's a curse.
We could see Rain make a comeback here. His name is Big Man Rain in chat. Watch out for him if you bet. Check what he bet. Honestly, here's the best strategy for next week. If you're trying to win, you wait to see what he bets, and then you place the opposite. That's the best way to
True.
do it.
And then check in on him in like 5 minutes because he's going to be super down on himself for losing all his money again.
Yes, and he's been literally sitting in all of my streams just trying to gain those channel points back, trying to get his money back. It's like he started working at McDonald's, getting himself a nice little paycheck each week, watching my streams so he can bet the big house and try and make it big here on Grab My Banner Boxing Championship number 7. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be super fun. If you guys are brand new to the show or brand new to Grab My Banner Boxing, just know that if you head on down to the Twitch, you can bet your channel points. I have now changed the name to Bones. They are
Ooh.
Bones on your screen. So check those out. You'll be able to see and bet your own bones and have yourself some fun while watching the fights. It's going to be a fantastic event. Make sure that so this week, because of Super Bowl Sunday, Grab My Banner Boxing Championship number 7 will be on Saturday at 12 Pacific. Saturday at 12 Pacific. That is when we will start the open fight hour. Now, sometimes the start time is subject to change, but once it starts, we're just going all the way through all the fights, okay? So make sure you show up. Schmazy, you should be there, correct?
I will be there training, watching, placing bets, making bets. I'll
It's
be in
gonna
chat
be
for you guys.
it's going to be an affair. We're also going to have the boys back in the booth on Saturday. So I think it'll just be me and Kyle because Troy has got some stuff going on. But it'll be me and Kyle in the booth. Carter will be feeding us the bet information while fighting himself. Make sure you show up to the show. It's going to be one hell of a boxing championship. I think this is going to be my favorite one because we got Schmazy coming into the ring. We got Brian fighting for top 10. We've got not Cookie. We've got Midas going for number 1. We've got Cookie trying to make it in the top 3. Oh my God, there's so many storylines here in this one. Make sure you drop on by. That is twitch.tv/grab my banner podcast, twitch.tv/grab my banner podcast. Drop in, say what's up, bet some bones, have a great time, maybe even box yourself in the open fight hour. Get yourself in there. It's meant to be fun, man. Until you get in that fucking top 10, now it's time to take it seriously. But for the other guys out there, hey, just get in the ring, have some fun, have a great time. That's what this is all about. Also, don't forget to listen to Grab My Banner podcast episode 23, which is out right now. We talk about the season 8 patch notes. That'll just about do it. I am Bab. We've got Schmazy here. Say what's up,
What's up and peace.
and we will catch you guys next time.